welcome to my second Wing Chun video tape. In this tape, I'm going to talk about sticky hand step by step. Why Wing Chun does sticky hand? Because during fighting, hands will make contact. For example, like this. Okay? And you cannot avoid it because during fighting, hands will make contact. And that's why Wing Chun had developed a very good sensitivity training on the sticky hand. And sticky hand also can exercise some of the Wing Chun theory. For example, like center line. Let me show you again. Center line fighting and the elbow in concept. Again. Okay, my elbow is in, block his hand. And the second one is inch power, like this. I could exercise like that. One more time. I can hit him right here. I can hit him right here. Okay. Wing Chun, in the sticky hand, we also can redirect your opponent's power. Okay, before we learn any sticky hand, either single sticky hand or double sticky hand in Wing Chun, you should be able to perform very well on the first form called Siu Lim Tao. The positioning of the stand is the toes line up with the shoulder, heels wider than the shoulder, your whole body relaxed, concentrate on relaxing. The elbow should be firm and strong because elbow is for protection your body. The wrist should be flexible because a soft wrist is for manipulate the techniques. And you could see that when my student do the circling on the wrist, the elbow is still stay in a stationary position. This is also called the coordination training and the isolation of your body muscle. In this form, we are not trying to train your shoulder or movement. Using your shoulder is an instinct. I don't have to train much on that. You've been using your shoulder all your life. But isolate the shoulder and just work on your forearm is what is the coordination required to be trained in the first form. And also, during the first form, you can understand all the basic movement and technique in Wing Chun. After you finish your first form, I think you're ready to do the single sticky hand. Single sticky hand involved with a top hand, which you start with a Fuk Sao. Make sure your elbow is come in close to the center line, about 6 inches away from your chest. Elbow is firm, wrist is relaxed. This is the first move, Fuk Sao, Zam Sao, Chung Quan. Fuk Sao, Zam Sao, Chung Quan. Fuk Sao, Zam Sao, Chung Quan. And then there is a bottom hand. This is the bottom hand. Start with the Tan Sao, Jing Jiang, Bong Sao, Tan Sao, Jing Jiang, Bong Sao. The position of the Bong Sao The elbow should be higher than the shoulder. Shoulder muscle should be relaxed. And the wrist should be soft. Don't tighten it up like that because it's a lot easier for people to grab your hand. You should be dropped just a little bit. And the angles over here should be about 135 degrees because that way you will create a better leverage. If your bones are too close to your body, you won't have any leverage. So let me show you again. Tan. The tan sao, the tip of the finger should be lined up with the shoulder, 6 inches away from the rib cage. 1, 2, 3. Tan, jing jiang, bong. Tan, jing jiang, bong. I'm going to demonstrate this with my new student, Brandon. He has a top hand. Now I have the bottom hand. The sequence goes like this. He blocked me. One more time. He blocked me when I hit him. And then his chance to hit me, and I'll block him. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me show you the other side. And I'll do the top hand, and he does the bottom hand. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Most important, also, while you're doing the single sticky hand, you should not let this hand sleep. A lot of people, they do like this, they drop the hand. Don't let anything sleep. Pick up, pay attention to the other hand. 1, 2, 3. 枕衝拳伏 枕衝拳伏 Let me show you this hand again. Elbow in a little bit. Relax. Relax your wrist. Tan, jing jiang, bong. Tan, jing jiang. 1 second. 1 second. Make sure your finger close in. Okay? Nice and firm. If you open the finger too open, a lot of boxers get hurt because of that. Closing your finger. 2, bong. Tan, jing jiang, bong. Better. Tan, jing jiang, bong. Doing single sticky hand, you could get into very mechanical move, which is incorrect. So you should do it in blindfold so you could test your hand sensitivity. Good. Let me do the other side. Good. After you train on a single sticky hand, and then you need to come back and train a little bit more on the detail, on the wrist work. Okay? Chow. This is called the rolling wrist. I roll myself in and out with a stationary elbows. From the outside, I go inside, so is him. I could also, from the top, I go to the bottom. Work around his wrist. Okay, let's show you this hand too. My hand is outside, I go inside, so is him. Elbow, make sure you don't move your elbow, because like I said, elbow is for protection. I'm turning from inside to outside. I can also do it from the top, keep rolling around his wrist, and I'll tell you why later. Okay, now I'm getting into the basic Wing Chun reflex training, because reflex is your most powerful instinct. In Wing Chun, we have a proverb. It says, 來流去送，甩手直衝. It means force come, I retreat, or I redirect. Again, force come, I redirect. Force retreat, I follow. Force detach, I strike. So this is your most basic Wing Chun reflex training. Everything is all start from here. Because you start to build up a good reflex, everything will come along very well in the future. Otherwise, you might learn a lot of technique, but your reflex doesn't work with it, it will be too late. Force come, redirect. Force retreat, I follow. Force detach, I strike. Okay, we can do a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So for a second, I should be able to develop a reflex that anytime he hit me, I would just do my bounce out. Go ahead. Okay? And then let me demonstrate the bottom hand, how my top hand, how can I demonstrate this. Force come, I redirect. Force retreat, I follow. Force detach, I strike. I follow his hand all the time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Later, in the double sticky hand, I will show you a little bit more how my reflex will work for me in the double sticky hand techniques. Now we just learned the single sticky hand and all the flexibility of the wrist work and the reflex. Now we're getting into the simultaneous technique movement. Because before you learn double sticky hand, you need to train your eye and hand coordination. Because most people can only move their hand one at a time. But in this exercise, we're going to train you to move two hands at the same time so you can get used to it. Then you are ready to do double sticky hand. Go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tanda. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ganda. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ganda. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the next step of the training is double sticky hand, because you just learn how to control your both hands at the same time. So your mind is ready as well as your hand. It involves with a top hand and a bottom hand. It doesn't matter if it's the left side or right side. The top hand is just constantly do the phục手. Constantly engage your opponent's wrist. Stick with him, don't lose him, so you'll be able to sense him. The bottom hand is only two simple movements. 攤手, 綁手, 攤手, 綁手, 攤手, 綁手. Like I said, when you do the single sticky hand, it's easy because you get used to move one hand at the same time. But now the trick over here is like juggler, that you have to control both hands at the same time, like this. Right now, his right hand is doing the same thing as my right hand, only the sequence is alternate. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the double sticky hand, elbow should be firm for protection. The wrist should be soft. Don't tie your wrist. Because you tie your wrist, you give out signal. And you don't want to do that. And his left hand is doing the same thing as my left hand. Use the elbow for protection because I could hit him right here. If he doesn't have a firm elbow, same thing with the tansao. If the tansao is too low, I could hit him. So tansao should not be too low, but the bongsao should not be too high either. If a tansao too high, you will have no leverage. The correct angle is have the elbow just a little bit higher than the shoulder, and the wrist should be relaxed. Like I said before, if he has a very tight wrist, tight, strong wrist, it's easy for me to grab down. And then now I'm going to show you how to do the rotation. Now watch. I move my hand up and down. It's very simple. My tansao and bongsao hand is at the bottom. It gets tired. When it gets tired, I need to rotate it. Now I have two top hands. He has two bottom hands. Now I can switch it to this way. When is the right timing to switch? Is the bottom hand, for the bottom hand, the right timing to switch to the top hand is you follow the flow. From the bottom, I want to switch to the top, I just follow the flow. But make sure your wrist is well trained to stick with him. Because the reason, if you don't stick with him, if you make a big circle, you're going to hit me. Again, like this. You cannot let your hand let go. Your hand has to be stick constantly, all the time. Okay? So my wrist, because of the wrist rolling training, I'd be able to roll with him, and he'd be able to roll with me. And Brendan's only trained with me for a few months. And you could see and the energy is supposed to be, has a balance in between. Okay? I don't overcome him or give him a very heavy hand, because if you, let's say he's leaning forward, some people do the sticky hand very physically because they are bigger than you, so they take the advantage on you, they lean on you. So you don't have to take it. You just have to let the momentum go. Let's try that again. If you find people, you could feel it. If he's leaning, you just let him go. You don't have to take it. Same thing. I have a bottom hand here, and he has a top hand. Top hand will tend to become a heavy hand. So if he has a heavy hand, I don't have to take it because I would just let him go. That's why in Wing Chun, we follow the flow. We don't try to against any force. Okay. After this, we are ready to take the further step training. And I want my student to show you the simultaneous move with movement. The next step in training the double sticky hand, it also involves, in this exercise, my student is going to demonstrate to you, is the simultaneous hand move with footwork. Number one is called the shifting, and then number two is stepping. Go ahead.
Can đá. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bóng ngủ. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lắc đá. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then I'm stepping.
Phát đỡ. Thang đỡ. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So this is how I train people. During the sticky hand, I will give you my hand, and then you could work on me with your simultaneous move, with your shifting and stepping, like this. Okay, you can hit me a little harder, because in order to have you hit me a little harder, number one, you will be not afraid to hit people. Number two, you will know your power. And number three, you'll be able to send a good message to your opponent during the training. You tell him, I got you. Okay? Now hit me just a little bit harder. Okay? Don't be afraid. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, a little bit more harder. A little more focus right in my center line. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ganda. Good. Good shift. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. 1, 2, 3. Okay, in this hand, tuck your thumb, okay? And your wrist supposed to be bent this way, because your hand, you go out like this with your wrist. Okay, don't do this way. Your wrist has to be flexible. That's where the power come from. Okay, we try again. 1. Better? Good. There's a lap bar. Good. Okay, don't be afraid. Now, your power on my chest is very inconsistent. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's light, because your mind is not getting used to it. You are training your two hands. So when you block me hard, it becomes that you strike me light, okay? Because you just switch your concentration. Now, this is the difficult part. You're supposed to be block and hit with the equal power, okay? Now, try again. A little better. Good. 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 Try this one again. Good. Good. Okay, let me emphasize the importance of this training. Number one, I make up a live opponent for you to work on. That's why are you hitting me? It's important. It's important to block, but as well as important to hit me. Because, like I said again, if you never hit a people, you never know your reach, you never know your power, and you don't train well on this, in the future, when you do the double sticky hand, the chances are you're going to hurt a lot of people. You either hit or miss. So a good training on punching people, you get to know your reach, as well as you get to know your power. I can hit him very hard, but I can also hit him very light, whatever I want. Training on this is not enough, because you need to chase the target. You need to chase me. You need to step forward. So I'm going to set up an opportunity for you so you can work on. Okay? Now let's start from this, and then you're going to do the footwork. Okay, this is the beginning stage that you be able to work on me with the simultaneous hand move as well as the movement. After you learn all we just shown you, you are ready to learn how to break a sticky hand. How to break a sticky hand, as I said before, when you do a sticky hand with your opponent, it's a balance between you and him. If either one too soft or too hard or misposition his elbow or wrist, that will be the chance for you to do a break. For example, if I find out his hand overlap the other hand too much, the foot out overlap the tan out like this will be the time for me to follow his flow and do a lap da like this again. I just follow him and then I'll trap him. Okay? And for example, I want to show you a pak da. For example, when his tan out is too low, the hand is dropping. If the hand is, that would be a good time for me to do a pak da. I just follow this hand. My left hand is following the right hand, and then I push this hand at the same time, and I hit him. Now let me show you again, slow motion. Again. Okay, let me show you the next one I would do. Same thing, if I find out his foot out cross over to the other side too much, I will let it happen and let my tan out do the job. Now, this was the tan out right here. After this, we'll strike. Gam da. When I feel that the bong sao is dropping too low, not high enough, I'm going to help him to go down, do a gam da. Sometimes I also find out his right hand, let's say his bong sao, when he turn into tan sao, very low. I follow it and I will do this. Tan with a low punch. Or sometimes I find out that his foot out elbow is too far away from the rib cage. Sometimes I will do this again. Or I can do this too. I get my elbow in and grab this hand and hit him this way because his foot out is too weak. After you learn how to break the sticky hand, you need to react the break. You need to protect yourself. In Wing Chun, we have a hand called Wu Sao. It describes a protective hand. And let me show you how to use it, okay? He break it, and my hand will pick up immediately as my reflex. And do not, now do it in slow motion. We show everybody, okay? You see how he pushed my right hand and dropped it? If you let this hand stay at the bottom, it becomes a slipping hand. You have to, when you do double sticky hand, you have to count your hand, make sure both hands keep busy all the time. If I let this hand slip at the bottom, the only thing I can do is with this hand. Then it doesn't no good anyway. It will trap my own hand also. That's why this hand have to train how to pick up back to your center line all the time, like this. Or the other side. Okay, why don't you do 立打? A little fast. Once you have the Wu Shao, then you can start to do a lot of things. Okay, let me show you how I can rescue the situation. Next thing you should train after the Wu Shao practice, always pick it up. Don't let it become a sleeping hand. Always pick it up. Is you have to learn how to do the counter move. The counter move, for example, I'm going to show you how to do the counter move after against two basic moves. Number one is Pak Da. You do a Pak Da, and I show you a few counter moves how to rescue yourself. The second one is Lap Da. Okay? Okay, let's go with the first one first. Once you have the Wu Shao, you do the Lap Da. Okay? Okay, too slow motion, okay? After I protect myself from his punch, I grab this hand because I'll be able to push this hand down because this hand, his left hand is holding my left hand. So I knock this down, so push two hands at the same time so I can punch him. Now one more time on the slow motion. Okay. The second one, you still do the Pak Da, and I'll show you my second counter move. I do the Tan and go to him right away. Now I okay. Again. My Tan Shao right here become a striking hand to his chin. And I can pull his neck. I can do a few different things. Okay, slow motion. Like I said, I pick it up as a Tan, redirect him a little bit. From here, I will strike him. Let's do one more time. And continue. Okay, again, do a fast movement now. Okay, and then I want to show you the third counter move on this technique, on his Pak Da. It's Jump Da. The Jump Shao is very useful because when he parked me, because this hand is on the top of the punch already, when he started to punch me, I just send his right hand and redirect him because he has a momentum here. Don't forget, like Wing Chun, we always say, force come, redirect. Okay, I'm showing you in slow motion. Okay. 1, 2. Make sure every time you have a bottom hand, always pick it up. For two reasons. You either pick it up for protection or pick it up and strike. A fast movement. Good. Okay. The other one I want to show you on this Pak Da counter move is a Bong Shao. He has a momentum coming in. I'm going to turn my body to this side and then do it like that. Okay. Let me show you again. Okay, slow motion. Okay? The bong sao makes you combine with the wu sao because one hand is very difficult to against two hands. So I have two hands with the shifting of my body because my body has a lot of power in shifting. And then I grab him. Okay. Slow motion, one more time. Okay. Another one I want to show you is Guat Gou Jiang. Okay, let's do a fast movement. Slow motion. Gua sao. Punch. Gua sao. Punch. Now I'm going to show you a second counter movement to against lap da. He's going to grab me and use a fak sao on my neck and step in. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I can also pick up the elbow and blocking this punch with the wu sao, and then again I do the lap da. I shift my body a little bit, redirect him, avoid the momentum. Okay, slow motion. Okay. Okay, I want to show you the second one, how to do this. This is a lan sao. When he tried to grab my hand, I will pick up the other elbow, work it as a lan sao, and at the same time, using one hand to against two hands is not appropriate. That's why I have this hand at the bottom to help me, going like that. Slow motion. Okay, now I'm going to show you another one. It's called the wu lap. You do the fak sao, wu lap, and then I do the jump right here. I push in, and I lock his hand like that. One, I lap the hand, and then I push this, and let this hand be free, and have one hand handle two hands, so I have a free hand to punch him. Okay, slow motion again. One, I lap, jump, punch. Good. And then I have another one I want to show you is how I control his elbow. Slow motion, I'll show you. One, I hold this elbow now and just push, and he will go away from me. One more time. Slow motion. Wu sao, bring it down, hold this elbow. From here, I can do a few things. I can punch him, I can hold this, make sure I lock his elbow, and you push him, and he will go away. The next thing I want to show you is a few fighting strategy in Wing Chun sticky hand. Number one, I think we all seen it oftenly, is called the trapping hand. Very simple. You could just start with a laps out. When I pull this hand down, I trap the other hand. That's what's called trapping hand. Trapping hand advantage is you'll be able to control one hand and as well as control the other one automatically. That's called trapping hand. And let me show you a few ways to do it. I could do a pak da. When I pak this hand, I'm holding, my elbow has to be bent. Don't straight your elbow. If I straight my elbow when I do the paks out, he will get me on this side. So it's not trapping him. So if I do with my elbow bent in the pak da, I'm holding two hands. So I have a free hand to punch him. Same thing, laps out. Same thing with the laps out. When I grab this, I'll be able to trap the other one. That will be the trapping. Another way I can trap him is with my elbow right here. I cross over his elbow so that my elbow will stay with him and I have a free hand to hit him. Slow motion. Come down and then just punch him. Another trap is called gum da. I gum this hand down, this hand come up and hit him. It works like this. Slow motion. Like this. Push the hand down. Simultaneously, I will punch him. Let's show you the other side. Show you slow motion again. Okay, the next strategy I want to show you is called the inch power. This is how I use my inch power. It's called the reserving technique. A lot of time, after I hit him, I hold the jaw and I let my hand stay on the jaw. Okay? The good area to practice the inch power on the reserve technique is on the jaw, on the neck, as well on the elbow. Now, let me show you. A lot of people, they want to fight back in this situation. And then you just push him. Let's say he has a free hand on the other side. He wants to pick up and hit me. Often they do. And they just give him one more short shot. Let me show you the other side. Again. Okay, that will stop that punch as well because you are holding his jaw. Right here, when I push this part or push the elbow, he will lose his gravity. He cannot fight against me. He want to punch me, for example, like here. I will just push him. Okay, now another one I want to show you on the inch power, how to reserve the energy. For example, this is what I can do. I can do the lap, and then I do a backhand. So he want to hit me. Right here, I'm going to give him one more punch. Because all this technique, I strike him with an elbow bend. So I have reserved my last 2 inches extension. He want to hit me? I'm going to go first. Why I will be faster? Because I only have 2 inches to go. He has a longer travel distance. He come? I'm ready. Okay? You know, it looks like that my hand is already on the trigger aiming at him. He want to come, and I hit him right one more time. Same thing with some other hand. For example, I can do a fox out. He want to come, my elbow go in. Again. Once I got his elbow, when I got his neck, he might still want to strike me. And I got let my elbow go in. Let me show you the other side. Okay? So I can also do the inch punch after a punch. For example, like this. After I punch him, he want to hit me, I'm going to give him my other hand in such a short distance. Let me show you in slow motion. Like this. I punch his chest, he going to hit me. But he doesn't realize that my other hand is ready to go because all my finger and knuckle is pointing a target right there. He thought that I was just going to grab his hand. No. You have to make sure that when a job is done, this hand will become a free hand again. Don't hold on people's hand too tight all the time. You have to get the other hand ready for the next job. This is what happened. The third Wing Chun sticky hand strategy I would like to show it to you is called the controlling hand. How you can control your opponent. For example, like I said before, I can land my fax out on his neck, and if he do anything funny, I can just give him a push. And sometimes when I push him, I can also hold him too, like this. I can hold him. I won't let him go, but I keep putting pressure on the neck. So I hold him and put pressure on his neck. Or the Gojang, again. Let me show you again. Gojang, same thing. I would just keep holding him. He could do the punch. I'm going to extend my elbow just a little bit further. And so he cannot reach me with that punch. But I'm holding him. I'm controlling him. Let me show you one more time from that angle. Slow motion. He tried to punch me. Go ahead, extend your punch. He will have problem to hit me because I'm just holding his vulnerable part of the body, the jaw. Another way I control him is by pushing his elbow. Let me show you from this angle. When I push his elbow, the other hand will be in a very difficult position to punch me. Not only that, his whole body gravity will be under my control. He cannot fight back. If someone in Wing Chun, we said, you see an elbow, you push the elbow. Once you got the elbow, he will have problem to fight back. And besides, all his body will be open. So that's why in Wing Chun, if you can get into a situation that you can push your opponent's elbow, the chances are you are in a winning stage. Okay. Another controlling hand is like this. Especially when his hand getting overlap each other too much, then I help him. And I'll do a cartwheel control. Like that. A lot of time, I follow the flow. He asked for it. He got his hand in the wrong position, then overlapped too much. And I don't want to correct him. So I follow his flow and just do this. And you will control him. And he can't do anything. Another technique is I grab this hand, so he's going to punch me, and I'm going to take him down like that, right on his wrist. I'm controlling his wrist. A lot of people don't realize that. Once you grab this, his elbow is up. The best time he's going to punch me, I'm going to take him down. Okay? I'm going to show you in slow motion how you do this. Lap, twist, hold, and put pressure on the wrist. Okay? Let me show you from this angle, slow motion. Lap, twist, put pressure on the elbow. Okay? And then that is also another one is called the elbow lock. I could do this, lap. If he do a very high bong sao, a lot of people, his reflex right away do a bong sao very high. Then I'll take the advantage of a very high bounce out is like this. Okay? Then in this situation, you have to watch out. He's going to swing another hand from the other side. Okay? Again. I'm going to show you on this side. Okay? So really the best way, if I be able to control in this situation, is I go down with him, with my gravity. Okay, another one I want to show you is how to control his neck. Is after I do the fox out, I hold him like this, pull his neck towards my side. In this situation, after you control him, he want to do anything funny, this situation you can push him very easily. Okay? Okay. Another sticky hand fighting strategy I want to show you is called wait and seek. Don't rush yourself. You observe his momentum. You wait for opportunity to do it. You don't rush yourself. For example, especially when I'm in a defense situation and he's offense. Now watch. See, I wait till the correct moment to strike back. So I'll be very patient. Again. I couldn't resist that one. Okay, again. Come with a few more. I follow his flow, because when I follow his flow, he starts the movement. He's doing the first part of the job for me, and I just do the other half to finish it off. That's why I follow the flow. It's very important, because that way I can reserve my energy. Okay? Now you try again. See? He want to go this way, I let him go this way. He want to go the other way, I let him go the other way. He want to go that way, I let him happen. So I won't against his momentum. I follow his momentum. Okay, show a little more grabbing. Okay. So in doing sticky hand, you have a few strategies you keep in your mind. Let me repeat again. Number one, trapping. Number two is an inch power. Number three, find a way that you can control your opponent. Number two, be patient, don't rush. He comes, you follow his momentum. So until you have a chance or intermission movement, right here, an intermission movement, I'm going to get him before he get me. And other one is train a good left side. All this year, I've been telling people, you want to do good Wing Chun sticky hand, don't just train a one side. Most people is a right-hander. The right-hander will always have a good right side, but this is incorrect because you need to train a good left side also, because you're fighting with both sides. You only have one good side. This side will overdo it. If you overdo one side, you are not going to surprise your opponent and you will get tired very soon. So it's important to do the other side, which is your left side. You can do a good job on the right, and you should be able to train a good job on the left as well. For example, like parks out. This is the left side parks out. I park on my left side. And this is the right side. Right side, I think everybody get very used to it. You've always seen people do the right side. Now I show you the left side. So it's very important. So I'll keep reserve my energy. If my right side tire, I do the left. If my left side tire, I do the right. Another double sticky hand situation that people often ask me, what happened when you're facing a physical guy who's hold on your wrist and just won't let go? Okay, that's a few ways you could rescue yourself this way. Number one, you lock him with one hand like this. It's called a cross lock. Okay? Let me show you in slow motion. This is how it's done. You bring this elbow down, you hold this wrist, and then you'll be able to have one hand controlling both hands. Then you have another hand to punch him. Another one is you do a cartwheel move, because all his motion is a lot of circular movement. You follow the cartwheel move and you hold his hand like that. Okay? The second one is you will use your elbow. Like this here, and then I will just hit him with my elbow right here. Okay? So you could do I could do a little bit more control, and like this. And I still have him. Okay? Now slow motion. Right here. Because this hand is pulling me that way. So I'm going to bring the elbow to hit his elbow right here. And I have a wu shao here. And the other hand will be able to punch him. Okay? One more time. He has to let go right here because my elbow is much stronger than the back of his hand. Let me show you the other side. Same thing here. This is my elbow side. And hit him. Okay? Let me do a slow motion. Block here. Another question people often ask me in doing sticky hand, they will always say, when you fight, people don't stick your hand. Yes or no? Depend how you approach it. Yes, in the distance fighting, hand doesn't stick. But once I close in, our hand already stick. Our hands already stick. So you can start to execute your sticky hand situation. Right here, sticky hand is not ready for you yet. Once you close in the gap, it's ready for you. He can come in as well. Right here, I block him right here. We are ready to do sticky hand. Okay? So let me show you a few ways how I close in to him. Okay? Number one, of course, the footwork will help to close in the gap. Pak da, lap da. Second one, lap da, gam da. Lap da, gam da. Lap, gum. So most people will get confused is once they close in and then they do their hand. That would be a big mistake. you should get yourself ready. As soon as I close in, my hand go with my body. Just like this. This will be incorrect. If you step and then try to fight him, he might punch you already. Okay? That's why it's important that you move in, you're ready to strike. Okay? So you will take the advantage of the understand of the good time frame. Okay? Another technique is lap da. Very simple. Your hand's already on the front. You just step in from here, step in, it just lap you, then you bring it in, right here. If he had a hand defense himself, that will be creating a sticky hand situation. See? Double hand stick already. Okay? Okay, another way is if you don't go in, there won't be a fight. If he wants to have a fight, he will have to come in. And then I'll show you how you engage your double sticky hand when your opponent wants to come in. Right there, we have a sticky hand situation. Right here, we have a sticky hand situation. Again. Right here, right here. Okay, after years of training in sticky hand, you could let the hand do all the job for you. You don't have to rely on your eye anymore because your hand create all the sensitivity. I'm going to show you how to do some blindfold sticky hand. Thank you for watching the tape. I hope you can learn something from it. But the best way to learn sticky hand is really to find a good instructor who is willing to spend time on you, hand-on-hand training. Then you really will learn the good sticky hand. But don't forget, sticky hands, it trains a good hand, but it doesn't train your eye. You need to do free sparring in order to train your eye. And free sparring is a situation that can be created in the school that's closer to the reality. And please look forward for my third video tape, Free Sparring in Wing Chun. And thank you.